Right, guys, welcome back. This is the Above Average FPL podcast. My name's Adam, and as always, I'm joined by Baker. Good evening, mate. How are you?
I'm Andy. For everyone on YouTube, I'm currently Andy.
You are Andy. You are now, but you're both Andy. How are you, mate?
I'm good. I think I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I had a green arrow this week. It didn't feel like a green arrow at any point, but it was a pretty okay green arrow. It was a weird week, wasn't it? A lot of people in the sort of 30s, but one of us definitely wasn't. I mean, I still think I had the worst week out of us three, maybe. I think so.
Maybe. I don't know. I had a good week.
Spectacular week. How was the bench boost?
Terrible, really. In reality, it's terrible. I mean, it depends how you want to judge it, but if you take the purists, bench the players that I'll tell you what, I'll tell you about it in a second. Let's welcome Andy. Andy, welcome back to the podcast, mate. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Good. How was your week?
Can't complain. Green arrow going into the international break. That's all you can ask for, really. Nice few days off now. Yeah, happy enough. Things are going well recently, so not as good as your week, but yeah, pretty decent, I think, compared to, like Baker said, all the 30s out there for sure. 51.
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't quite realise how many there were. There's a lot.
Yeah, I guess Haaland's low score. We've all been so used to Haaland just smashing in loads of points, hitting 60, 70 with no problem. Just wasn't the case this week, was it?
Yeah, I think I'm so used to the ones down the bottom end of the scale that this one feels kind of nice. So I don't get like the 40, 40, 50, 50, whatever. I get the 20, 70. That's how it works for me. So yeah, I'm gonna take it and just dine on it over the next 2 weeks. It's definitely cheered me up. I mean, I can just imagine myself bench boosting, and yes, it was a bad bench boost, but I can imagine myself getting 30 points this week. Like next 2 weeks would have been just miserable.
Yeah. Do you know what, every chip this season, there's just a level of angst about it, isn't it? Without that level of doubles, therefore is you sort of, it's not just the case that like there's obviously more variance that can happen in a week when it's all singles, but also you're doing it not necessarily at the same time as everybody else. We were just having a quick look at sort of the top million and what percentage of chips played, and it's not kind of as many as I kind of hoped it was. So only 42% have played their bench boost, 23% played free hit, and 38% have done triple captain, and about 63% have wildcarded. There's a lot of chips out there. I was trying to work it out though. I don't know if did you see All About FPL earlier tweeted the zombie team that's like the dead team that's number 8 in the world.
Every year there's a team like it. Makes you depressed, doesn't it? All these hours we spend.
Is it what I was trying to work out though? Is it more so this year because DEFCON, like the team, you wouldn't be surprised with it. I was thinking about this. I was like, all right, guess what? If it got Rice, Bruno, Caicedo, who else? Gravenberch is in it. All the Haaland and João Pedro up top. Like they're all like just solid minutes, straightforward picks. I think he's got Watkins as third sub, and has had that the whole season.
Honestly.
And you're like, okay. But this is probably the season where we could be losing to more zombie teams than probably ever before. And should we be excited about that and therefore think, right, we can really make moves? Or Bruno Guimaraes was the other guy he had in midfield. But yeah, and then Cash, Gabriel, Cucurella, and then Pope and Raya. So after our conversation last week about it, the guy's got both.
Laying carpets on the ceiling. Incredible.
Pope's his vice captain.
Brilliant.
That's ridiculous, honestly. I've got confidence about catching a team with Gravenberch, Caicedo. You can't stay there for too much longer.
Gravenberch, Bruno, Rice, and Caicedo.
Well, imagine he picks up the game in like 3 weeks' time and goes, "Oh shit, I've got 5 transfers," and then makes 5 in game week 15, and then turns up on game week 16 and goes, "Wait, hold on, I've got 5 transfers." It's just what happens then? It'd be carnage. Yeah. It'd be carnage.
I think that at first I was a little worried about the fact of how much chips are left, but I think it is an opportunity. I think it is an opportunity. I think there is a lot of guys that we can just we can motor by. How's the season in general, Andy?
Yeah, it's not too bad, to be honest. I feel like I've not made that many transfers, and most of the ones I've had to do have been fairly obvious since I wildcarded. So, yeah, it's going smooth at the moment. About 300k or something like that. I think after 11 game weeks, that's fine. I've only got 3 hit left, so I will get caught up a bit. I think the triple captain is the one that worries me because there's so many obvious places to play that. Like, you can't really mess it up. The triple captain now. It's not. I think some people that have got like wildcard and stuff left, they're probably thinking there's not really an amazing week to gain from it now. But with triple captain, there definitely is still time to get a lot of points from Haaland in particular. So yeah, we'll
definitely.
see.
I hope so. I hope so. So yeah, I guess
Game week 13 feels like the big one coming up, doesn't it? Really is.
That Leeds at
Game
home.
week 12. Yeah, game week 12 is like straight after international break. I think a lot of people are just going to see this week out, and it's a one for us to talk about for captaincy. But I think game week 13 is the one where a lot of people are looking at using whichever the chip they've got left, whether it's triple captain or free hit.
Bingo, free hit 13 possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that as well. That as well. Should we get into scores and things like that?
You can't wait. Look
Mate,
at
I'm
him.
buzzing. Just so buzzing.
Just do you straight off the bat. Go.
All right, I challenge anyone. Anyone got more than 72 points? 72
Give it
points.
bigger. 76 minus 4.
76 minus 4. With what was unequivocally the worst bench boost you'll ever see. I mean, for the purists, we will say that my bench probably would have been a combination of Senesi, Goodmanson. Yeah, Senesi, Goodmanson, Reinders, and Dubravka, right? 5 points.
Yeah.
5 points. So ultimately, I probably would have played if I hadn't the bench boosted, I'd have played Senesi and probably not got Richards. But here we are. Dubravka 2, Michael Keane, what a man, 15 points. Richards, 8 points. And I was going to call him Micah Richards then. Chris Richards, 8 points. Senesi 2, Goodmanson 1, Bruno 5, Sarr with 3, Reinders with a no-show. Thanks very much. Mateta, nothing. Thiago, another hero of the week. Haaland with 8 points. Saka with 12 on my bench. Enzo 3, Gabriel 1, Raya 1. Yeah, smashed it. 10k game week rank. And like a huge
10k game rank. That is monstrous.
Tell you what, going from, I mean, my wife laughed when I said to her that I'd had like an 11.4 million game week rank out of 12 million, and this week it was like 10k. Like I am the epitome of like both ends of the scale. But we take it. We're happy. And I said to you on Thursday, I said I was gonna be loving my Thiago this week over your Newcastle boys, and yeah.
Thank God I didn't play Dan Burn.
Yeah, probably good. Probably good. Right, let's get onto yourself, mate.
Yeah, I mean, how do I follow that? Do you know what I mean? Is a mere 48 points for me. And Richards, again, that was the only hero of the back line with the 8 points. Got a lovely Semenyo 0-pointer in the middle there. But Saka and Bumo both return in. Rice missing out on my DEFCON by 1. The bastard. He almost managed to jam his way to DEFCON. I don't know if you saw it at the end, but he managed to lose the ball, which then made him then have to recover the ball, and then he booted the ball. Like, so he was nowhere near it, and then he actually managed to almost, by being crap, get himself there. And then, yeah, Haaland and Mateta did not do the business for us. But I've managed to keep a lot of points off. I haven't had hardly any points on my bench all season, which I always quite like. I don't feel that regretful. And I certainly did not with Burton, Roden, and Guillou getting a mighty 2 points between the three of them.
We move on, mate. We move on. Andy?
Yeah, 51 for me. So pretty good. Pretty happy with that. I mean, Dewsbury Hall, I was actually thinking about this after the game. He's a bit like, You know how obviously everyone's loving Declan Rice. He's crossing in the ball to Gabriel, who's just an absolute magnet on set pieces. Dewsbury Hall's got that with Michael Keane. It's exactly the same. Michael Keane
Yeah.
is just an absolute magnet to the ball. And yeah, got the assist. Dewsbury Hall easily man of the match. And I watched that game. He was so good.
He was so good.
And it was a bit like you just said, Declan Rice, actually, because he started getting a couple of DEFCONs at the start of the game. And I was joking, oh yeah, well, he's only like 9 away now from 12. And then the first they just kept racking up so quickly. And there was a point where he tackled someone. He got tackled, then he tackled him straight back. And I was like, well, that's another 2. And yeah, I think he hit about 14 in the end. So yeah, very happy with that. Paquetá, I mean, yellow card, it's what he does, but an assist as well. So that was nice. Basically, my decision this week was to get in Burmo and Sarr, or to just get Saka, save a transfer, and play Dewsbury Hall. And if I'd gone the Sarr or Enzo maybe, and in Burma, I would have got about 10 or 11 points. And obviously Saka and Dewsbury Hall was like 21. So absolutely delighted. And I've got another transfer after the break that I wouldn't have had. So yeah, Semenyo missed penalty. Haaland missed penalty. Not great. I watched those tonight. I don't think either penalty was that bad. Because I told you before we started, I missed the 2 p.m. games. And I was kind of following it on Twitter afterwards, and people were saying that it was a pretty bad penalty. I don't know if it was that bad. I think the keeper just made a very good save.
Adam's theory's always been on penalty days. If they miss them, they're bad, and if they score them, they're good. The only thing I would say, actually, I was just on both penalties for those ones. The Semenyo one, the bit that I don't understand is that he does the pause, look at that corner, and then hit it in that corner, and you're like, well, what was like?
Maybe he was trying to double bluff.
Why would you give him that? You know, I guess when you're playing up against Emi Martinez, it must be the most nerve-wracking of all keepers you could face. Definitely, 100% of players. But to pause and then do that, you're like, well, what are you doing? And then with Haaland, I don't know if you thought the same, but before he took it, and I have this feeling every single time Haaland's about to take a penalty is don't go bottom right, don't go bottom right, don't go bottom right, because he loves to go bottom right. It's like the most obvious thing. If I had to, I wouldn't get down quick enough, but if I had to face a penalty from Erling Haaland, that's where I go, because he hits so many of his penalties that way. I don't know if do you remember like one of the first ones he took, and he was almost carried on running before he'd even almost hit the ball. It was just sort of like steams off with the momentum of doing it, and you're like, well, that's what he's going to do, and therefore I think people should. This is another way of us just worming into this, that Harry Kane's the greatest striker in the world football because he's managed to be, just a continual penalty taker because he takes so many because he plays for the best team, and then has realised what he needs to do is add so many different variants to it, and he's gone from with us where it was just I'm just going to bang it in the corner to now I have stutter, now I have high, now I have middle. I do think Haaland needs to add another.
Yeah, his record's not actually that bad, but I just, for someone that scores so many goals, I'm not as confident as if it was Harry Kane stepping up.
Nah.
I think that's absolutely right. But his record is really good. But I mean, Fernandez's was good till recently as well. So maybe, like you say, you just need to start mixing up a bit.
Yeah, I mean, Thiago absolutely did Ramsdale completely, because I don't know how or why, because I don't know whether you saw.
Did you see? He also did that same penalty that he did the last penalty he did, which was literally it's like.
Did you not see the? I mean, I saw the penalty graphic come up, and it was like, well, the penalties just go here, 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 and he put it there. It was like, oh, it's all gone in the same place. I think Ramsdale kind of second guessed him and thought, well, this time surely he's going to go the other way. But
yeah. But exactly beforehand when he took it, before Thiago took it, I thought he'll go between the middle and the corner. He doesn't put it in the corner, does he? He puts it. But I don't know whether he saw Ramsdale move. Like when he does that, you're like, did you?
Yeah.
But now Penn's bad now. Penn's bad now, Andy.
Not unless Watkins taken it. Everyone else, they're still good. I've had four misses this season now.
Do you want your points back?
Yeah. I would love my points back. Yeah, I'd absolutely love them back.
Thankfully, I haven't got I didn't have the Semenyo one this week. I just had Reinders not playing, but yeah, I had the other 2 Bruno ones and the Haaland one. So I know where you're coming from.
But good week.
How did you feel about the Haaland one when it happened? Like because obviously he's so highly owned that you're like, this doesn't really affect my rank.
Oh, I didn't
Doesn't
care.
do-
Yeah, no,
yeah.
didn't care whatsoever.
It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like it didn't emotionally like get me. But if you had gone against him, you like
Oh,
imagine like
people are
you'd have
loving it.
been.
Yeah. Saka captainers and stuff like that. Absolutely loving that penalty miss. Huge for them. Massive. But for us, yeah, it's like whatever. It's like that's one of the problems with being so engaged with the game is that you know about effective ownership. So it's like when my son was really into it and like he's getting so annoyed because Haaland's I'm trying to tell him, well, really want to tell him, I'm kind of trying to calm him down. Fine, everyone owns him anyway. These points are meaningless to you. So yeah, it's one of the downsides to being so engaged, I think.
We see it in our group chats. I mean, even like Semenyo is like 80% owned. So
Yeah, same.
So group chats. I was group chat this weekend. One of the guys in our group chat was like, I had two penalty misses this weekend. I'm like, mate, everyone did. Absolutely, everyone did. It's not.
But if you didn't, like
But
you,
if you didn't,
like, because I was even excited for you because I knew like when it's me got a pet, and I'm like, well, this isn't actually going to benefit me, but you've had a really good week, and that's a massive swing
yeah. He was the
in
only
the
player
overall,
that
isn't it?
he was the only player that could hurt me on Sunday. Literally, like the only player,
Yeah.
only player above. I think I had one above 30% just, but he was at like 78. So yeah, he was literally the
Yeah.
only player, and he came up with nothing. So yeah, buzzing for that. Buzzing for that. Let's have a look at how other people got on this week. Let's have a look at our mini leagues. So in the Discord mini league, shout out to Henry Hun, who he's topping the league and without playing a chip managed 72 points this week. Doesn't own any Arsenal defence. Just absolutely cruising up there. 732 points. Liam Herridge, second, 728. John Edgar dropped down a bit, down to 720 points, third place. Kieran Scully in fourth, 714. And Luke Charts, 711 points in fifth place. And over to the main league, where you can see the code 1WTCH2, which will be open for the next 9 weeks. We have Kresimir Zetovic, who's gone top, 777 points. That's massive. Look at these Saka captains, man. This is why we're not winning the game. John O'Shea in second, 758. Ulf Haun, I don't even know how to pronounce that. But 757 points. Brecht Gaines, 755. And Harry Jeffries, 753. Shout out to all of you guys. Well done, well done. And as we do say, if you do enjoy the content with us, make sure you do drop a like on the video. Hit subscribe if you want to see more. That would be a wonderful, wonderful thing to do. There are almost 400 of you, or more than 400 of you in the chat this evening. So thank you very much for joining us on this Monday when there's no football on. International break, you could be taking some time off, but you are here with us. And one person we do have to thank, as always, is Crypto Block Dan. So hubble.social/Dan Hybel. Dan is an expert in the blockchain field. He is an angel investor. He's an advisor. He collects NFTs. He's been in the game for 13, 14 years. If you need some advice, he's the guy. Hubble.social/Dan Hybel. You can grab from 15 minutes with him for $40 and he will give you whatever information you need. And then a final shout out to our patrons, patreon.com/above average FPL. We got 2 weeks no FPL, so we got a lot of chats, a lot of different things going on in the Discord over the next 2 weeks. I'm sure it will be just as busy as it always is, and everybody's so happy for me for my wonderful week this week. So, yeah, come and join.
I prefer it when you have a big week, mate. If I have a big week with the old beat baking competition, they don't like that. They don't like that at all.
This is true. This is true. So, yeah, I mean, as I said before we started, I think I maybe just said to you guys that we don't have to go through every game, but we can go through games as we want to see them. And, you know, we can, if we have some talking points and players we want to think about, etc., then we can go from there. So do we need to start with Spurs Man U just because of who we are?
Let's get our, that's who we are, mate.
Who we are, mate. So yeah, Tottenham 2, Manchester United 2. How did you feel, Andy?
Well, it depends what minute. At the end, I felt pretty good. With about 10 minutes to go, not so much. I got to be honest, I felt coming away from this, it was like watching two teams that are in the top half of the table, but just aren't that good.
Yeah.
It's kind of how I felt. Like, especially in the first half, I just felt like Man United could not play through. And it partly because of how well Spurs were kind of swarming and pressing, etc. But when Spurs got the ball, they couldn't do anything either with it. It was just like neither team could figure out how to put any attacks together in the first half. And then obviously we score from in Burma because nobody can clear the ball, and then he's just unmarked and no one's near. Well, there's two players kind of close to him, but they're not doing any defending with him. So yeah, it was all around a bit. I don't know, messy. I guess Spurs probably slightly better second half, but not in a way where you ever felt like too uncomfortable watching. Really, Lamens had to make a couple of saves, and then obviously all happened in the last 10, 15, didn't it? I don't know. I just thought that Man United were kind of there for the taking, and Spurs couldn't do it. And Man United a lot of the ball, but we just couldn't ever get through your team.
Yeah.
Like, I just felt like Šeško might have been a better option from the start. I don't know, a bit of presence up front instead of Cunha, but he just wasn't good. It wasn't a good game, I don't think, at all.
Yeah, I was going to ask on the lineup. So obviously, Cunha starts in the 9, and then it doesn't mean Bruno moves forward though. And I guess is that partly because Mainu wasn't available? Do you think?
I just don't think Amorim really rates him either way, to be honest.
So it then obviously means Ahmad goes up there with Bruno. And what you're looking for is this kind of like I've been trying to gauge recently this sort of like away versus home Man United. Recently I was thinking maybe Bruno gets forward a bit more in the away games more than this, but obviously when it's Ahmad and Bumo and Cunha, it's like they're all in amongst it, aren't they? So it wasn't a huge amount of room for him. But it's quite solid from you guys too as well, isn't it? If you're playing two orthodox kind of wing, well, Dorgu's quite unorthodox, you know what I mean, at times, but it's certainly slightly more orthodox than say Ahmad.
But less threatening, I think. I think that's the problem. Right? I think it's just better with Ahmad playing wing back because obviously you've got more of a. I mean, he is an attacker, right? He's not a defender, so I think overall it usually helps. I'm not really sure why he went with this setup. I don't know if he spoke about it after the game because Mount was on the bench the game before against Forest and didn't get any minutes. So I'm just wondering if they're just managing him a little bit because usually if Cunha plays up front, Mount comes in.
Yeah, but most slightly to the left seems like something. I don't think I can't remember seeing that in anything I've seen, and it did feel more like it was him and Cunha were quite interchangeable. Like I was like, actually, which one is the 9 and which one's not? Like I think it's just good for Bumo if he's potentially going to be playing around there because Cunha will wander. So it's a tick. I still think it's a tick in general. Every time Sesko doesn't start, it's kind of a tick for all the other guys, the midfielders.
I mean, I was quite surprised, given the attacking issues that we've had. Like over the last 4 or 5 weeks, like the defense hasn't been an issue for us, right? The attack has been an issue for us, and over the past 4 or 5 weeks, like attack hasn't been an issue for Man United. Defense has been an issue more so for Man United. So it was all. I think if you'd have lined up in the same way, I think the game would have been played a lot more in our half. I really do. And, I thought it was interesting to put Richarlison out to the left, or at least kind of bring Xavi into the middle. But again, that didn't really feel like we did anything with it. Like you almost felt that would allow Colomwani to be a bit more, to sort of move around and interchange with Richarlison. They could actually, if one did come out to get the ball, the other could move in, and you don't get that when you play someone like Odegaard or Johnson really there, or even Xavi, because Xavi drops in rather than fills the space at 9. So I felt like that could have worked, but for some reason we just didn't really create anything.
I felt just not stick with your boys, Andy, to an extent, is obviously coming up. There's Everton, Palace, and that'll be Palace after Europe as well. So I know on the ticker it's like Everton's green, Palace is grey. I think Palace is away, and that's a really interesting thing for a lot of people when they're looking at free hit 13, isn't it? Is that most people probably look at that away and think, well, I wouldn't have necessarily Man United guys in it, and you probably wouldn't have double, but if you were. Like, here's the question we're always going to look through is it Bumo? Is it Bruno? Is it both? When's the right time for it? And then you got West Ham and Wolves. And then home to Bournemouth, which now every week when Bournemouth go away, that looks better and better as a fixture. So the games are there up until this, and all of the guys will be there up until that game week 16. There was some talk I saw about Man United talking, and Bumo almost have an expectation they might even be around for game week 17. We know you like Bruno, Andy. We know you do. Tell us about
I don't mind him.
Tell us about where you where if you were buying tomorrow or you're buying on free hit and those things, where you at?
Well, I mean, okay, let's say we're just buying, right? It's not free hit for a second. It's a bit of a strange one because I feel like the more weeks we see it, it gets harder and harder to back against Burma as the pick. But also, the more weeks we get through, the more obvious it is to go and get Bruno because he's not going to go to AFCON, right?
Yeah.
But we're still 5 weeks, maybe 6 away from that. So I don't think we're quite at that stage yet. Yeah, you've spoken about this before. Bruno is kind of always the almost man, right? I'm not going to mention the two things that happened earlier in the season, but he's come close to DEFCONs a few times. He's underperforming on his expected goals. He's underperforming on his expected assists. I'm pretty sure, and I haven't gone back and checked, I'm pretty sure the same thing happened at the start of last season. He absolutely killed me for a bit, and then he went on a run from about game week 10 and did really well. So there will be a time. He's hit the woodwork 3 times. Like the points have not been there. They're there for Mbeumo. But like if you look at, I think the total points, I'm pretty sure they've both started every game. Did Mbeumo miss one? Let me just double check. I think he started every game. Yeah, he has started every game. So his 60 points plays, what is it, 50, I think? I can't see the freaking... yeah, 50. It's a 10-point difference. So obviously you pay for the cheaper guy, right? But I just think Bruno's come so close to so many points, more so than Mbeumo has. It could have been easily different. And now there's only a 0.4 million difference as well. Bruno's always going to be a differential because everybody hates him. Doesn't matter what he does, they never want to buy him. So I'm pretty sure I would buy Bruno because it's only 0.4. You don't have to sell him later on. And I know we've got 5 free transfers coming up, but it feels like everything people are doing in FPL right now is like, it doesn't matter because we've got 5 transfers. Like everything's pinned on those moves, but you don't want to use them all straight away. Probably you want to roll a few maybe just to see what happens later on over Christmas, etc. So I would probably still stupidly pick Bruno.
Yeah.
But it's really difficult to back against him. Burma. It's obviously small sample, 11 games, but the numbers are really good. It's like 0.6 expected goal involvement per 90. That is very, very, very good, even without penalties. And he's never going to get rested. Cunha wouldn't go near until Mbeumo goes to AFCON. No. Mbeumo's the man right now. I'd pick Bruno because I'm an idiot, but I wouldn't begrudge anyone that wants to go on Mbeumo instead.
As a non-Bruno owner, I'll say, like I say every week, bloody hell, he's got Black and Jammy again. He's got a 96-minute assist. But what you do also look at and go, well, because he does play every minute and a lot. And look, Man United, like Tottenham and Man United, we're not perfect teams. We're not blowing teams away, which means the other team's always in the game. And therefore, he's also always in the game. Like if you didn't go 2-1 down, he probably doesn't get any points. It's the fact that you did that, well, what will Man United do if they go 2-1 down? They'll lump it into the box and they'll play for set pieces. That's what they'll do. And they're pretty good at it and they've got a good record at it. And that's why he often gets points at the end of the game. Like it isn't that hard in terms of science for it. Even for his assist, he's still got the same BPS as what Brian did for his goal. So therefore, he's like 9 better on the baseline than Bumo for these ones. Like the higher up, actually, effectively Bumo plays, the more or less bonus chance he's got. What did he end up with 22 in this, which means he had a baseline of 4 in this game. So that's not perfect, is it? And I think I also think it's almost like a defensive play right now to pick Bumo in there because he's going to be. After scoring again, he keeps going up in price. He's going to be, 50% owned plus?
Over 200,000 transfers in. I think the next midfielder is like 40k this week.
I think if you've got Bruno, your decision is how hard is it for you to get both? Because I was having this conversation with Late Riser and Danny, and they're both Man United fans. And I was like, Danny's already got Bumo and Bruno. And I was like, if I offered you right now a bet, if we pretended that, well, AFCON will happen because that's for both of them. But if I offer you the bet right now and said Szoboszlai and Salah versus Bruno and Bumo, who would you bet for most points between now and the end of the season? it's close right now, by the way, just so you know, actually, because they've both returned before this game or this game week. Bruno and Boomer had a 3-point lead. It's now a bit bigger than that because Salah and Szoboszlai didn't get anything. But that's also £3 million cheaper.
The Man United.
The Man United ones.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
Bruno Fernandes' expected goal involvement per 90 this season is the same. Is 0.01 more than Salah.
It's there's just a real argument that Bruno and Bumo, and then just switch Bumo to Cunha during AFCON, is a really bloody good way to spend 17 million quid and just let them ride.
Yeah, they're both just good picks. I almost went for both this week. I just chose Saka instead for captaincy reasons, basically. Yeah, I think they're both good picks. You could absolutely go. And the fact we got no Europe and stuff just really helps because they're always going to play every minute of every game. They're fresh all the time. And I mean, Bruno would have done that anyway, right? But just helps a bit more.
Just reminded myself that I had both of these guys in game week 6 and then sold Bumo
on a Friday night.
On a Friday night. Because in game week 6, Bruno missed a penalty. For Semenyo. Before
you sold 2 weeks later.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did all of that.
If you'd have held on to him for this nil pointer, then you'd have been fuming.
What, Semenyo?
Yeah. So lucky he's gone.
The only we probably don't want to talk about Man United all night, I know, but like the only thing with Mbeumo is like he is a really good pick for the price, but it's like, do you go up a tiny bit more and get Saka, who's got penalties, and at 8.5 million, which is what Mbeumo is now, is he 2 million more? Like, is he 2 million better than like Ismail Assar, for example?
Mm.
And so there's a value question as well.
I wonder, and it probably, I don't think there's a huge amount to talk about with Spurs effectively. Like, lineups are pretty hard to trust. We need to see what happens with Kudus and injuries, like who's going to play where. I don't think many people have got them, and I don't think it sounds like Colomwani might have an 8-week injury, so maybe Richarlison's nailed again if you want a cheap forward, but nobody's bringing him in for Tottenham Arsenal anyway, so we can skip Tottenham for once. But I think that the person that probably people will look at, or probably already are looking at, is going to be Semenyo. So, because that's the hard one, isn't it? You can't, like, I've got Saka, Bumo, Sarr, and Semenyo, and I've got Rice. So, but Rice is really just the same as any of the cheaper midfield strikers, isn't it? In that sense, and that guy, it's really those 4 midfielders that a lot of people have got. Those guys, and you're like, well, if I was moving one, surely it would be Semenyo, because he might not. Well, you'd have to imagine after he misses a penalty that if Kluivert's on the pitch, Kluivert's definitely taking the penalties.
Yeah.
How do you sell him ahead of like West Ham, Sunderland, Everton though? As like
and that's
a set of fixtures.
The thing, innit?
Those fixtures are so good.
They're so good.
Yeah, I don't think you can sell him. I just. Yeah, like, I think, look, Man United are running into, I don't know, I'd probably rather have Mbeumo than Semenyo just about right now, I think. But we are about to play Palace away. I know what you said, it's after Europe, but it's still going to be a tough enough game. I guess, who would you rather play, Palace away or Sunderland away? Maybe that's a bit closer than we thought it might be, you know? But I just don't think you can sell Semenyo before West Ham. I know they've just had 2 really good results. Like, I mean, you know, Burnley at home, you'd expect them to win anyway. But obviously, in terms of relegation, it's quite a big win. They've beaten Newcastle, both at home, though. It's just a different prospect having to go away. You just can't sell them before West Ham at all. No, it's just a non-start. I think game week 15 is like the perfect week to start to look at it. They've got Burnley not long afterwards, but the fixtures are not fantastic. And actually, if he's going to lose penalties, his underlying numbers are not that impressive now this season. He's like 0.3 expected goal involvement or something. Like, he always plays, which is great. But yeah, I think we can give him 3 weeks, and then when you get to game week 15, and some of us will have transfers saved up that have to be used, I think there'll be big sales for him.
I mean, I was definitely interested to see like how this would line up, because obviously Evan Nilsson comes in and starts ahead of Krupi, which is interesting because Semenyo's dip in shot volume and points has come at a time when Krupi came in and Evan Nilsson was injured. Whereas in the first 4 or 5 game weeks of the season, when he was playing up front with, he was playing alongside Evan Nilsson, he was absolutely flying. So unfortunately, we just saw Aston Villa pretty much blow them away. And like, this doesn't really show it, but they were by far the better team.
Yeah.
And it didn't really feel too close. I mean, there's a few good chances, like 3 good chances for Bournemouth here, plus the pen. But there's just a constant barrage here at the end. I get game states a bit of that, but
penalty as well, which is a
but I'm ignoring that from a sort of a, I don't know, sort of domination of the game perspective. I would have expected Bournemouth to maybe come back more into it, but you can see that Villa continue to attack hard in the last sort of 20 minutes of the game, sort of going for the throat.
Yeah. I mean, I had Palace on the telly and this on the iPad basically as my made up multi-view, because the multi-view on Sky is actually rubbish. So using a TV and a tablet, if anyone hasn't worked that out, is much better than almost. Yeah, I said to you, it's like stapling your phone to the TV trying to watch that multi-view. It's insane. But I think probably the only reason why Villa didn't create more XG was actually probably Watkins. Like Tuchel's left him out and said he thinks, he's sort of carrying something. He's not, needs the rest and all that stuff. But like, it's just an absolute shadow of what we expect from him. But they still managed to score 4. They still managed to put 4 past Bournemouth. I'm very concerned. The fixtures are fantastic. So if you've got Senesi and you've got Semenyo, like you say, you feel like you're sort of handcuffed to roll them out for the next few games. But as soon as Diakite got dropped, I was like, well, that's weird, because like this is a guy that's got like good reputation. You expected him to be really kind of like for like guy to come in. And then you start playing the kid at 18 years old. I'm not going to pronounce it. But I could just call him the kid, the 18-year-old centre back. And that's difficult. It's just, this league's pretty unforgiving. Like Senesi wasn't first choice, really, probably for if you looked at most of them last week, you said, well, where did the other 2 go, Zavani and Howson, when they went on to bigger, better things? So they were the best 2 centre backs. So you've now got your third guy, and then you've tried to buy a replacement, hasn't worked, and then you chuck the kid in way earlier than expected. Just it doesn't feel ideal, even owning Senesi. But what do you do? Most weeks we have to take he gets 2 points regardless, doesn't he? He's like like those 6 or 2 guys. This guy is like 2 or 12 in it almost, because he gets 2 even if they concede 4, because he still gets his DEFCON. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I didn't see. Honestly, that first half, I was just like, Semenyo is just non-existent here.
Yeah, his output's just been dipping recently. Like you said, maybe it's a Krupi Evan Nilsson thing, but it didn't get much better against Villa. I think what's actually maybe going under the radar, I've seen a few other people talk about this, like Bournemouth attack's actually been pretty bad this season. Like just over 1 XG per game for Bournemouth.
No dangle.
Which is below Newcastle, and obviously you'd expect Newcastle to usually be good, but they've not been great this season either. It's below Leeds, below Forest. Oh, that's non-penalty, by the way. It just hasn't been that great. But sometimes the fixtures do all their lifting, and I just think, we might talk at some point about, which week do you triple captain Haaland or something, Leeds, Sunderland, or West Ham. I think some people might argue you'd wait for West Ham, So I think for that reason, you've got to give them at least this game, game, and then maybe if you need to sell them against Sunderland, you could. But I suspect people have bigger issues to deal with.
People just roll out their Sunderland defenders in that game instead.
Yeah. I guess if you don't have any Man United midfielder like that, I still think that is a decision. Would I rather be without a Man United midfielder, or would I rather be out with Semenyo for the next few game weeks? If you've got that money sitting around, or you've got the transfers sitting around, I just there are still plenty of people that haven't got it. You know, if you think about it, it's 50% owned, whatever it is. Boomo, what's Bruno now? Like 20% owned?
Yeah,
not-
something like that, maybe even less. To be
Not a
honest.
huge
Yeah,
number, is it?
16.
So there's lots of people that haven't got one of those guys, but mostly everybody's got Semenyo. I can see people getting jittery.
I hadn't thought. I'm actually quite close to being able to do that. I hadn't even thought about it. Semenyo to Mbeumo. But I just can't do it for West Ham. Just cannot do it.
I know. No, it's tough. I've got enough money. Yeah, I can do. I think I just about have enough to do Semenyo to Bruno. I might be a little bit short. But yeah, it's one I haven't really thought about. But hey ho.
Where we go next?
Villa. Just 4-0 Villa. Emery again, just brilliant because like it's still really hard to work out who the picks are.
Mm.
I guess it's Rodgers or no one really from attack, just because
And
he's always going to be in that team.
Yeah. Tillmans is back. Good old Tillmans.
Someone's got to take penalties.
Rodgers didn't get an assist.
Oh,
Rodgers
God,
didn't
yeah.
get an assist.
Yeah, there's a lot of controversy about that decision. But
More
It's 'cause
assists, more fun.
It's because it's outside the area, isn't it? Is that
it's
the
because
game?
the pass is outside the area, and the pass was intended to whoever was standing in front of.
Buendia.
Buendia, yeah.
There you go. Simple as that. It's not,
Technicalities, but rules are rules.
seems to be applied. That's fine.
Well, go.
I suppose we better talk City Liverpool
Oh,
or
it's
Chelsea
rules are
Wolves.
rules. We could do Man City Liverpool. Are rules are rules? And Doku the Destroyer.
I
It's
can't.
so good.
I can't afford going up to. I can't afford to go up to another Man United midfielder. I do have Rangers just burning a hole in my pocket though.
Can you do Rangers to Doku?
I'm going to look now while you have a little conversation about this this disallowed goal.
It's the eternal thing, isn't it, of trying to work out, can I have more than Haaland in this team?
Yeah. But I feel like mine's always an eternal same answer. I just can't do it to myself. Like even now, like I thought Doku has played well recently. He must have had a running game, but he hasn't. He's been benched 2 of the last 5. So
Exactly.
like,
Let me just go back. Let me just mention it one more time. World number 8 has made no transfers and has a midfield of Gravenberch, Bruno Fernandes, Bruno Guimaraes, Rice, and Caicedo.
Yeah.
it's nuts. It does. I mean, we're only 11 game weeks in, right? We'll have to wait and see, end of this season, maybe even another season to see how DEFCONs really plays out. But it does feel like, even though I don't necessarily think that we should all be going out and buying those players, it does make it more difficult to go for puntier players that are not necessarily going to play, because if they don't, you've got lots of other players that are just going to be consistent with a few points all the time. So Doku could be great. But even when he started, it's like 70-minute games.
That's that. Do you know what? It's the only thing almost that puts me off. I know, obviously, at the point it's 3-0 and blah blah blah. But even then, I want to play 90 minutes. He comes off in 70 minutes to stand ovation. I'm like, he's still coming off in 70 minutes, and then we come back into Europe and midweeks. Can't do it.
I can't afford him.
That's probably a good thing.
That's a good
It's
thing.
probably a good thing. It's probably a good thing.
That is a good thing.
Why are we not talking about Nico Riley? We
shouldn't go off on a tangent, but I can't wait to see him play for England.
Honestly, under
Cannot
Tuchel, when he saw him in the squad, and I was like, suddenly meant that Nico O'Reilly with Tuchel, it's like Chilwell 2021. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
said to
suddenly-
Flapjack when I was watching the game against Liverpool, I said, like he's so, like he's almost like a unit. Like he's so tall, but it doesn't like affect his pace or anything either. Like he's like that perfect left back where he can get up and down, but also gives you that protection on, like, I don't know if he's any good in the air, to be honest. I've not seen him that much, but like he's tall, right? So you assume like he might be okay on set pieces to defend them or whatever. It's like he's just an all-round good left back. And the couple of times I have seen him properly for City, he just always appears in the box taking shots.
just always.
And
This
he's
is
less
it.
than 5 million.
This is it. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of people. I think you were included in this, Baker, putting like Nunes on a free hit. I'm like, surely O'Reilly's the better pick because he's the guy in the box rather than like Nunes crosses fine, but Nick O'Reilly's always in the box.
If I'm honest, on that free hit one, I just scrolled down in price order, which is absolutely why I chose Nunes over O'Reilly because I didn't get down that low.
Fair
I was
enough.
like, "Oh, Man
It's
City
just a good
defender."
way to pick players as any, to be honest. I'm
I
sure.
just went down Man City. I was just farming engagement, obviously. I was doing as if I'm picking my free hit 13 team on before it's international break.
Yeah.
I saw you bookmarks though. I saw there's about 50 odd bookmarks on it. People were
Was that?
people were sluts for a draft. But no, O'Reilly. There's still that part, isn't there? Oh, we're about to have an international break and we're about to come back to a load of fixtures. Ain't Nuri's
Exactly.
around. And it's not DEFCON, and you suddenly go, can I do this?
We're just not allowed to have any fun in FPL.
Can I have fun? Can I have fun?
Yeah, I think Ain't Nuri is a problem, right? Because even with him, I think O'Reilly started like 7 of the last 8, and if he started 7 of the next 8, maybe you take a punt, but missing that one game is still going to be annoying, especially when you got defenders that go and get DEFCON like it's fun, or
Yeah, because you're not
fun,
missing out. You're not missing out on 2 points. You're missing out on like 4.
3, 4. Yeah,
I know
exactly.
what you
So
mean. Yeah.
maybe when we get to Gameweek 50, when they've got Sunderland at home, you take the punt, maybe knowing that Ain't Nuri is going to African Cup of Nations not long after. But even then, maybe Ain't Nuri starts one of the 2 games before he goes in 17. I like Gameweek 17 might not be bad. West Ham at home, Forest away, Sunderland away, and Ain't Nuri's not there. But Vardiel can play left back. Ake can play left back. And the conversation
But are they
now.
as good as this guy? Like he's literally.
He's so good.
But you know what? That's always the next part of the conversation. But it won't happen. He's so good, he'll stay in. But he doesn't. They don't stay in though, do they? That's the problem.
The problem is Ain't Nuri was bought specifically, wasn't he? He was bought at the start of the season. Like if they hadn't have bought him, I think if they hadn't have bought him, then I think because. And I'm still, but then saying that, I mean, like Frimpong's not doing anything in Liverpool, is he? Like Bradley's just taken that spot now.
Yeah, but that's also mainly because Frimpong's been absolutely diabolical.
He's injured as well, right?
And permanently injured and stuff. But I know he's had one injury, but actually looked all right when he played. Even I know he's even shown he could play left centre back inside it as well. So you're like, I can do stuff. It's still difficult.
It's just it's like with Doku, right? You watch that game against Liverpool, and you just think, how can you ever take him out of the team? And then you think, because it's Man City and because it's Pep, and because Haaland's the only one scoring goals. Do you know who they have on the bench that can score goals? Marmoush. Do you know which position he can play in? The same one as Doku. Now, obviously, they play it a little bit different, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just always headache.
The only positive, I would say, is there are certain places where you're like, I reckon he's going to sub him. I just don't reckon he's... So if he doesn't play some weeks, I just don't think he necessarily comes on. And we've all got these DEFCON guys, these other defenders that you're like, can I have some fun? But there are parts, like if you said to me, you say that, and then I'm like, Michael Keane, he will get you. He will, at least the ball will be aimed at his head 5 times a game.
Yeah, 100%.
He will get you DEFCON in 70% of games, and he will get you cleans in probably 40% of games. Like they'll end up with 15 clean, and he might just keep his place forever. And then you're like, you suddenly like to ask yourself, do you feel stupid doing it? Because I had that with Burn. I chased Burn thinking he's playing Forest. I want a haul, and I got a haul. I got a 12-pointer. But then after that, I mean, obviously he got bloody DEFCON this week, but he still managed to get 0 points. But you're then looking at it, well, I don't want this guy. I'm going to bench him immediately because I don't trust him for DEFCON and all that stuff. That's my only thing with these guys is, do you suddenly feel stupid when they get 1-2 pointers and the other guys, like Senesi's just conceded 4 and got 2 points.
Yeah. Doku's going to double digit next week, by the way. You know he's playing Kieran Trippier, who's like 40 years old and runs like nothing.
Well, then that's the next question. Before we talk about Liverpool, is Man City. Because before we came on, Andy, who did you say you were captain in Gameweek 12?
Hopefully Saka, as long as he stays fit. Playing your boys seems at home, seems nice and easy to me.
Kieran
I don't know.
Trippier.
Yeah,
And no Dan Burn.
I said on the deadline stream, I said to people, I'm not going to captain, because they were talking about, do you really want to captain Haaland against Liverpool? Do you want to go somewhere? I was like, no, I'm going to captain Haaland this week, but next week I'm going to go somewhere else. They were like, there's no way you're going to not captain Haaland. I said, I'll tell you now, right now, I'm not going to captain Haaland this week. And then Newcastle lose again, and then Burn gets sent off. And then Haaland's, he's missed a penalty, but that could have been another brace. Like, it's so close to being another brace against Liverpool.
If he gets that penalty, he gets 13 points.
Yeah,
you can't have those points back, mate. That's not allowed.
Yeah, I know.
No, this is. Don't worry.
No, I know. I've heard the conversations with Bruno. I know what you're getting at. I think I'm going to go against him. I think I'm going to do it. Am I scared? Yes. In fact, I'm going to check right. Presumably, Arsenal Spurs is the last game. Yeah, it's the last game on Sunday. There's a Monday game. Yeah, I feel better about that. If Arsenal were playing before Man City, I think I'd feel worse. But I think I'm going to do it. We'll see, though. It's easy to be confident now. It's not so easy to be confident in 10 days' time.
I will. I might have to just check where chat might be able to tell us where Brazil and where Joe Linton and Bruno Guimaraes got off to as well. From a.
Oh God, it gets worse.
Yeah,
Haaland's only 1 goal off his 100 as well.
Oh God, he might just get one then. One and done.
Gets one and gets clapped off by the Gallagate or something like that.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's still going to be difficult.
Right, Liverpool.
It's still difficult.
Liverpool.
Andy, do you think it was a goal?
Yeah, yes. Now look, if you guys or people in the chat want to read the rules, minute detail by whatever, that's the kind of guy you watch and think that should not be ruled out. I don't care what the rule is, the rule should be changed. I think Carragher did a really good piece on it on Sky, and don't go and get the stills. The stills are rubbish, right? Get the video footage. When you see that from behind the goal and when you see it from behind Van Dijk, I just think there's nothing that Robertson did to put Donnarumma off. He's tracking the ball, he moves right, he plants his feet, then he has to go left because that's where the ball. He's watching the ball, he's not watching Robertson at all, and he ducks down. Donnarumma's nowhere near it. If Robertson wasn't there, that goes in. He dives exactly the same if Robertson's not there. It's an absolute joke, I think.
I agree.
That was it.
I agree 100% with that because as you say, if you watch the video, at the moment that it hits Van Dijk's head, Donnarumma's going the other way. Like he's actually going the other way in midair. So he hasn't planted his feet yet. So there's no argument. I think if you watch that video, and you can't say that he was impacted by Robertson awaiting a touch or anything like that, because he plants his feet and then he immediately goes to the other way. Immediately. There's no hesitation. I think it should have counted. It was a goal for me. I think it's hilarious. Don't get me wrong. Social media timeline when Liverpool fans are all salty about stuff is funny. It just is. But it should have been a goal.
I don't agree.
Really?
Not even close.
Come on.
Let me give you. I would say the first thing is my umbrage of all is the madness is the people comparing it to the Bernardo one.
Yeah,
because it's got nothing to do with the Bernardo one. Like the Bernardo one is the rule with the Bernardo one. It goes on about the site of the things, but also if you see the still of the Bernardo one, like the ball doesn't go where Bernardo is. The ball was never in sight of the keeper. It's got nothing to do with this incident. Like it just happens to be a disallowed goal. That's the only commonality they have in terms of what they are. But they're not the same. So those ones are not there. The second thing is I shared a tweet earlier, but the funniest thing of all, if you haven't seen, is watch the video that I tweeted earlier. Go on Twitter and watch it to see Andy Robertson's reaction. If you haven't seen Andy Robertson's reaction, Andy Robertson, there's a brilliant side angle, doesn't celebrate. Andy Robertson tries to pretend like a schoolboy that's got in trouble, and whilst all of the team shoot off to the corner flag, Andy Robertson just does this little trot back towards the centre circle, refusing to look right, pretending like he didn't even existed.
Or left, actually. He doesn't even.
Or left.
Yeah, he doesn't. I agree.
It's the funniest thing. If you haven't seen the Andy Robertson guilty face, he did not help the situation by doing this.
But he still didn't interfere.
Well, he didn't.
He didn't interfere with the goal. He didn't interfere with the celebrations. Just what a guy.
But the next point is that the lino gives it, and that's actually the only important part. Is that the lino says he's interfered. Now, if you watch that video, Donnarumma, as he goes to take it, Andy Robertson pushes Donnarumma, fully with hand pushes Donnarumma, and then ducks after. So if the lino says he's taken action, the referee can't go, he did not take action, because he did take action. So it's one of those where I'm like, if the lino didn't give it, I don't think they should overrule it. But the second the lino says he's taken action, and then the VAR goes, did he take action? You're like, well, yeah, he pushed him and then he ducked. And then he walked off like that, pretending he hadn't done it. Like, if it's the guilty walk, if you haven't seen the guilty walk, please just go watch the tweet. It's the funniest thing I've seen in a football game for a long, long time. It's just comedy. He just pretends. It's made so much better by the fact that you see all the other players like, yes. And he's like, no, it didn't. No, it didn't happen. I was not involved in this moment. Tried to like hide in the crowd and sneak off. So like, it's the point is that he was involved, and the lino flagged it. So what you're having to see is to know that the lino was wrong. Doesn't really matter.
FPL Cowboy says, we know your history with Robbo Baker.
I was so happy when I saw that. I was like, that's so Robbo doing Robbo things.
Brilliant. Right, Liverpool picks though. Are there any picks in this team? Because like Gakpo's not getting minutes, Wirtz is rubbish, Szoboszlai maybe.
You've got Van Dijk, haven't you? Andy, you got Van Dijk.
Got Van Dijk. Who needs a third Arsenal defender when you got Van Dijk?
What do you
Goal scoring Supremo.
He has been targeted, hasn't he? It's been like targeted the most out of all, like up with Gabriel in terms of.
In all seriousness, you could argue right now he's the only pick, which is mental with the fixtures they've got and the players they've got. But Konate, I just don't think is worth paying 0.5 less for. He's not as good for DEFCONs, and maybe it's a big if, I don't know, but if Slot's going to make a change there, it ain't going to be Van Dijk. We all know that. Don't even need to discuss it.
True.
Attacking wise, the two number 9s, they can play together. They might not. Ekitike might start. It might be Isak. Salah's over 14 million with, by the way, worst expected goal involvement stats than Fernandes so far this season. And look, I don't mind Salah, right? If you've got an easy route to him, or you want a wild card and you want to go big, like he's the biggest differential right now in FPL for what he can or has delivered in the past. But the idea of using 4 transfers to get him in and back out with Haaland to lose, like Haaland might even go back. I saw people saying earlier he might go up in price again. So for me, that would be a 0.4 million loss. You know you've got to buy Haaland back. There's no debate about that either, especially with AFCON. So Salah's just awkward. I don't think you can go near Gakpo right now, because he's not even started the last 2 games. Ain't nobody want to buy Wirtz. Szoboszlai's just got his 4th yellow card.
Yeah.
Now, we have these conversations every season. Should we risk it? And maybe you do because of the fixtures, and people have got strong benches, and those benches are DEFCON defenders, so it's not as bad if you have to play them in bad fixtures, etc. But is Szoboszlai that good?
That's the point.
I think he's fine.
Ultimately, that's the point, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he's a good pick. And to be honest, if he was only on 3 yellows, I'd probably be considering, could I get him in this week? But I'm not that bothered about him. So no. I cannot believe I'm looking at the fixture on Liverpool got between 12 and 19, and I just cannot convince myself on any of them.
Well, apart from why don't we hold wildcard till game week 13?
Yeah,
Because
I know.
this is it. And now you're like, oh,
Almost worth. Well, it's not worthless, the wild card now, but it's worth way less than we thought it was going to be at this point.
but is it the old game? You know, Luke always used to say, well, isn't it strange how suddenly form suddenly reappears as fixtures get better? But it's
But you need the. We all know so we know Gakpo's good. We know Ekitike's good. We know Isak's good. We need them to play.
yeah.
That's the problem.
I know where they're going to play.
It's exactly the same as the Doku conversation. If you knew he was going to play 90 minutes next 6 weeks, you buy him, right? But you don't know that, so you can't buy him. It's the same with Liverpool. Exactly the same. Now, part of me thought earlier, okay, they've done well against Villa and Real Madrid. They've just lost to City. It wasn't great. Does Gakpo just get back in? But it feels like the Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, McAllister midfield's going nowhere. I just don't think they can change that. And Wirtz is just... Wirtz is going to play.
Yeah.
He might not be every game, but he has to play. So he either plays number 9, in which case you're leaving Ekitike and Isak out. That ain't going to happen. Or Gakpo has to miss out. So it's too many players.
I know the fixture right, but you don't have to be. You just don't. It's that old. You don't have to be first on here, but the you need a team to be consistently winning in order to know that you get much more of an idea of who that team's going to be if they're consistently winning games. The second they lose a game, it's like, well, who's going to be next week? Who's going to be next week? What do we see this? We were questioning a few weeks ago, suddenly is Salah minutes suddenly getting a bit dodgier. Do you know what I mean? I mean, obviously they didn't because it's Salah. But it's really, really difficult. For me, it is Van Dijk or not, or no one. But when, if you're me, for example, and I've got Rice as a second Arsenal midfielder, so I've got 2 Arsenal midfielders, and I haven't got, and I just feel like I'm going to feel stupid every week that I'm almost forgoing an Arsenal defender over the fact of having Van Dijk. It feels.
I feel maybe it's just pure hope, but I feel okay about Van Dijk. I don't think Liverpool, like, you know, people are very up and down in their thoughts on teams. You know, after Villa and Real Madrid, we're thinking, do you know what? That was actually like, they weren't amazing against Villa, but they got the clean sheet. They weren't massively troubled throughout the game, I would say. Real Madrid, good performance. So because they've lost away to City 3-0, are they now terrible again? I'm not so sure, really. The fixture run is just too good. Basically, the way I think about it is, if any other team had that fixture on, you'd be looking to see if there was any picks.
Yeah.
You might not buy them, but you'd be looking, right? So I don't mind Van Dijk, but yeah, if it's a straight choice, Arsenal defender or Van Dijk, I'm obviously buy the Arsenal defender. But for a lot of people now, they've already got their Arsenal in place. So if you've got a spare spot, I don't mind Van Dijk. 5.9, it's not. He's very good at DEFCON as well.
Is that what it is now? 5.9 for Van Dijk?
Yeah, he dropped, yeah.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, it dropped. But
I mean, I've got Dan Burn at 5.1 and I've got the money. You know, is Cal just sent in the chat about Burn to Van Dijk. It feels obvious, but I'm just questioning how much I need to do it when it's actually my defence isn't that bad this week, and then I'm probably free hitting in game week 13, and you're like, is it better to just get yourself another transfer and keep the money?
Yeah, you can you can always buy them later. The fixtures aren't getting bad anytime soon.
No. Adam, you got no Liverpool, have you?
No Liverpool. I still think I could punt if I could afford it. Like, I can't afford it, so this is not really for my team. But I would still punt on Gakpo. His numbers when he plays are just ridiculously good. Like, they're so good.
It's just, who do you have him over?
Yeah, and also they are so good, but and to be fair, at this point there's a million difference in price, so it's not so easy. But they're basically as good as in Bournemouth. The difference is in Bournemouth will play every single game. Gakpo won't. I don't know.
I guess at that point it's betting on Bournemouth's share versus Gakpo's share, and how well you think Liverpool are going to perform over the next 4 or 5 weeks. Now, there's obviously an argument to say, quite rightly, that Liverpool aren't as good as we've seen them in the past, right? That attack is just not as good despite the players that they've got. So in which case, there's a good argument there. The models still haven't caught up with the fact that Liverpool aren't as good yet.
Or maybe they just value fixtures.
Or maybe they just value fixtures, in which case Gakpo might just, or whoever, Liverpool might just score 12 goals over the next 3 weeks.
Well, they
4
probably
weeks.
will. it's just like you say, trying to work out the minutes to work out who's going to be.
But then does it? If you think, I mean, like 12 goals is a lot of goals, but if for some reason in your mind you think the Liverpool are going to score 12 goals over the next 3 or 4 weeks, would you not just buy Gakpo? Like you just would.
Okay, here's a different question for you then. Let's say you buy him for game week 12 and he gets benched against Forest. How many more weeks do you give him before you sell him?
Yeah. And then 13, 14, 15 is all in one calendar week.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, so he's definitely not playing all 3 of those.
That's true. Yeah, no, that's fair.
And he's definitely playing home PSV in the midweek in between Forest and West Ham.
Yeah, I kind of like. I wish I could get on board with it. I find it really. It's part of the problem. I think I said this to Az on Black Box. It's part of the problem is also the pricing as well. Like these Liverpool Man City attackers, they're not cheaper than the competition that are playing all the time. And you're right. Like Gakpo's minutes are really good, but the underlying stats are really good. But they only really matter if he's got the minutes. Like his per 90 numbers are excellent. But how often is he going to play 90 minutes? So you've got to take off some of that, etc. Like even when he came on against Man City, he had a really good chance. So he gets chances all the time. But I mean, 2 benchings in a row, it's not a good signal for what's going to come. But then they've lost, so maybe they change it. I don't know.
And that's the thing, innit? They've lost, so maybe they, and that you just don't know. But I just don't think, I just don't think it's worthwhile right now. And you talk about like Salah. So there's kind of 2 ways, isn't there, really, to get to Salah if you haven't got Salah. One is Haaland, it's the easy way. The second way is then Saka and downgrade someone. Downgrade someone expensive, potentially if you've got a striker that's you want to get him down to a GU now and go 4.2, and you had say a João Pedro or the likes, someone relatively not cheap, or you've got a couple of transfers and maybe it's a Voltamada and somebody else, but it's still selling. I mean, let's do Sunderland Arsenal. It feels rude to have not talked about Sunderland already. That was so good, but Saka now just keeps nicking DEFCON too, doesn't he?
What a guy.
So because the goals, it's really interesting, isn't it, about captaincy? Because prior to this, when obviously there's quite a few people that did choose captaincy for him. And actually probably the majority of ones that did are more analytically minded, I would say in terms of what they would see it. And therefore, if you're analytically minded, you're more likely to just go at predicted points versus predicted points, and if it's close and there's a good opportunity. Whereas I think there's still part of my brain that would still be like, who do I think is going to brace? And I still fancied Haaland to brace more than I fancied Saka to brace, because his goals recently have been pretty crappy.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm adding in enough, I don't know if I'm adding enough spice into the brain model almost to an extent, because if he's getting like that's DEFCON for a midfielder is half a goal head start on a striker, isn't it? It's quite a lot.
I mean, he scored 1 goal and he's 1 point behind the brace for Haaland.
It's quite a lot.
Yep, and that's without the clean sheet as well. If they kept a clean sheet in that game, that's matching a brace. No, he's not going to get DEFCON that much, obviously.
He probably doesn't get 3 bonus if they keep it clean, though.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah,
that's the thing. Is like Calafiori, Gabriel, and those boys just come up on you when you've got that.
Only if they score as well, though, probably.
Yeah, but I feel like if they had, yeah, but I also feel if they clean, they win this like 4-0, and it's a different game. Maybe Saka scores again. Like it's obviously just a completely different game, right?
But he does still get 40 on the bonus system, so that does mean he had a baseline of 22 in this game,
which is pretty good.
So we talk about Bruno, for example. Bruno is still a good pick. But this guy's kind of potentially, it wouldn't surprise me if he hit maybe not quite as often DEFCON as Bruno. But I also think he'll get more attacking returns than Bruno in a season. And therefore you're like, well, I don't think Bruno's a waste of money. I don't think Bumo's a waste of money. I don't think I definitely don't think Saka's a waste of money. And he might, if he can do this with one goal, then he's probably just a really good captain option in any week you want to do so.
And he's also part of the reason I mean, it's a lot of money anyway, but he's part of the reason why I'm a little bit less bothered about Salah. Because
Exactly.
Salah's good weeks match up exactly the same as Arsenal's good weeks.
And Salah's bonus is dropping because those games, frankly, he's not being as creative as he was, which was absurd for the last 2 seasons. He's not bracing as much as he was, which is, also been absurd. And penalties don't pay as much. Now, Saka actually hasn't had many penalties, that many, really, in the last 2 seasons. But we know that his baseline in general is good because everything goes through him. The other winger in Trossard isn't the most creative man. He wants to come and shoot and scores. That's what he does. So therefore, he's used almost as a high volume winger. He will recover the ball loads because guess what? That's where the ball is. If you think about when the ball goes forward, it goes forward to Trossard, but it goes forward to him at like the end of a move. So whereas actually what happens is the ball in sort of almost more static possessions, often with Saka. So even if like let's say the cross gets blocked, quite often he just recovers the ball quite often. So he is getting some of these like freebie defcons all the time, just because of that's the side of the pitch that they use so often. And therefore, every time he does an action, not only is he getting defcon, but he's also getting baseline at the same time. I just feel it's an incredibly solid pick, but actually, I feel like I might be undervaluing it as a captaincy option because if you can get double digits with a single goal, well, that's what made Salah so incredible last season.
Yeah, that's pretty much why I got him instead of in Burma in the end was captaincy. For game week 12, game week 14, game week 16. If it's definitely an if I want to back against Haaland, I need someone I'm comfortable. And as much as I love Bruno, between the two, I'd prefer to captain Saka. So, yeah, that's it. The weeks line up perfectly to dodge Salah, basically.
It's just every time I see this, like with Saka, that it's like first goal away from home in a year, or he's only had this many this, and it's low, 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 low. I think there's a lot of noise out there about low, low. It's probably more so on my timeline because it would be quite a few Tottenham fans. But ultimately, you just watch the player and you're like, well, he's just.
You got to be really careful. I saw like the BBC saying it's the first. I think it was like first time in 19 months he scored outside of London. You think, yeah, but like how many London teams are there?
Yeah,
in the
and been injured and had like
he's
a
been injured
5-month
exactly.
injury.
Like people were saying on my deadline sheet, he's not got more
and
than
3 of those months were off season.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact,
So it's like
if
6
it's 19
months
months, it's probably two off seasons, wasn't it? It's probably like if you think about 19 months, yes, that would be. It'd be like probably May of
it's just a nonsense stat. It's just
nonsense stat.
Like people were saying on the deadline sheet, he's not had more than 9 points since last November. I'm thinking, yeah, but he's had the summer off and he was injured for 3 months last year. Like,
Yeah.
it just doesn't matter. We know he can do it. It's just a case of when is he going to do it. He's just too good not to. And like before I picked him, I was thinking, okay, Madueke's going to be back soon, so that's going to eat into his minutes. And he's already had a hamstring injury last year. He's had a minor one this year. And I was like, he's played so many minutes. Will they start to rest him? And like Luke just said to me, we quite like players that play all the time. And I was like, yeah, that's just a good point. And like he is just their salary. He's just going to play when he can. Like I'm starting to worry about Madueke coming back. I don't know if it's going to have that much of an impact. He's going to play as much as they can get him to play. So yeah, he's a really nice bit. And what the reason I really like him, he's differential. Like last week, more people were selling him than buying before Sunderland away because they just had enough.
Yeah.
So for what he can deliver, he's also a pretty big differential right now. And the fixtures are there.
Yeah, very comfortable. Very comfortable.
I thought Arsenal were pretty good, especially like I know it's 2-2 and Sunderland definitely played well in the first half. But I think second half, Arsenal, and Saka could have had a couple of assists as well. Saliba, if that had fallen to anyone but Saliba, it was a free shot on goal from like 8 yards. That's an assist. There was the assist right at the end for Calafiori. That was a really good save. Like it could have been more in that game. He's just always going to be involved.
I was shitting myself when I saw that after all the discussions from last week. That last one for Calafiori.
I think most of the season I've been very much on the angle of Leeds being the best promoted team, but Sunderland, and just like I say, that offering that contract after like a couple of games of the season for a new 3-year contract, seems like an absolute masterstroke. They've just worked it out as well, and they just worked out set pieces. This is what we're doing. Mukiele just looks like a ridiculous pick. Like he could have scored in the first half, let alone he got the assist. But just after the assist is he could have scored. Dan Ballard's
absolute machine.
He's a monster. He's an absolute monster of a player.
He's the one that blocked right at the end, wasn't he, as well?
Yep.
Oh, right, that block was phenomenal.
Yep.
That block was phenomenal. This is my first game of being a Rice owner. In terms of this, it's interesting when you're watching. I can kind of a little bit with Caicedo and a little bit with Rice, a bit more, but more with Rice in that he is absurdly orchestrating games. Like they have so much control of games that it's just, if you're watching as a Rice owner, you're like, this could be points, this could be points, this could be points. But and obviously at some points it has worked out as points, you know what I mean? But they have so much control that you just feel like anybody in that kind of midfield, they're gonna fashion something from somewhere. But virtually everything goes through him. And Zubimendi, gets the kind of jam with the assist effectively, doesn't it, with Trossard here? Because it's like, so Rice passed sideways to Zubimendi, who passed over, and I was like, did I just get a Rice assist for something that happened about 2 minutes ago? Because obviously Trossard dribbles it forever and then just bangs one in. But you are going to, I was like, oh, okay, this will shit points occasionally. It's a bit dull. Aaron Rice, but I think it's one where you just go, I'm just going to leave that.
Yeah, you've got to be prepared to leave it, I think. Otherwise,
it is.
You're just going to be constantly in and out.
Just no point with it. But I was pretty comfortable with it. I didn't dislike it as much as I can, enjoy two of my midfielders being from Arsenal.
Yeah, it feels a very like James Ward-Prowse type pick. Just in a much better team.
But if you think about back in the if you think about back when James Ward-Prowse was getting 150 points every season.
Yeah.
If you then said that James Ward-Prowse was getting DEFCON in 70% of games, he'd have been a 200-point player.
Yeah.
100% of teams. Would have been 100% of teams, and would have got 20 clean sheets because he was never playing for a team that got more than 2 clean sheets a season.
I think the average FPL manager should not buy Rice because I don't think they will have the patience. Because there will be times when the returns just dry up. Arsenal stop scoring from every set piece, and he'll get the odd DEFCON, but then it won't feel like enough. But but it will come eventually. And I think if you're patient, I think he's fine. If you're not, I don't think he's for a lot of people.
It's still the same as what we talked about forever with like a James Ward-Prowse type pick, in that everyone talks about them as like steady eddies, and they're completely the opposite of steady eddies. Like they are completely, absolutely nothing, or minimum 10 points. There's virtually zero chance that Rice scores a goal and doesn't double digit.
Yeah.
Because it's like, like De Bruyne, for example, they have so much of the ball, they do so much stuff that their baseline is so naturally high that if they do something in a game, they're always in the bonus conversation. So yeah, you have to be. It's definitely one where you're like, you've got to be prepared that you could easily have 5 2-pointers in a row, which probably won't be because of the clean sheets and the DEFCON. And then you'll get 12. Where else are we going?
Chelsea. Let's go Chelsea.
let's talk about Chelsea. Who owns Enzo here? Anyone own Enzo?
Yes.
Nope.
What do
Yes.
you What do you do? What do you do about Enzo?
Well, first thing is I just wait and see if he's fit because obviously, like, he's not going away for international duty, so that's probably good that he doesn't have to do all that travelling, which is fine. I mean, like, he should have had 20 points after about the 4th minute. So I don't feel like I should have a concern about it because, like, on another day, like literally on another day, he could have had 30 points. Legitimately, I've never seen the start like it before. Obviously, the game
It's
changes
funny.
if he does get 30 points at that point, but you know what I mean. Like,
It's funny as I was watching it at that point, I had a similar feeling of it, and I was thinking, I guarantee you this doesn't play out that he should have had that. I guarantee it plays out he should have had about half a point, and because it was like everything that was happening was him, but you were also like, this won't be like they've accumulated 3 XG in the first 20 minutes. But you're right, it did feel like 20 odd points. But realistically, it wasn't, was it? You know what I mean? It was a corner which is cleared off a line, which is obviously like 0.01 XG.
so it's not even registered as a shot. So it's just
No.
not even
So I mean,
registered.
it's always quite fun when it's like when it's always one where it's almost like the data will not tell you what you were able to see in that first 25 minutes because
No.
you were like, how on earth has he dodged some points in that first half?
Well, he's obviously, because he's obviously had the save from the free kick right early. Then he has, like, Garnacho misses a huge chance from a pass from him. And then he has another shot a few minutes later. The header.
Yeah. And it's almost as well. I felt like the points. I felt like it felt more so because it was Sam Johnston in goal. Like the first chance, you were like, that could loop in, and he just manages to flip it over the corner. And then the second shot, where it was the other side of the corner, wasn't it? It was like, oh, that could just loop in, and it wasn't there. They registered nothing on there. But when it's Sam Johnston in goal, you think there's always a chance here. There's always a chance. But he was definitely struggling. I mean, he looked like he was in agony when it was that corner flag at the end. Well, you obviously also have to add in that Reece James didn't start this game, which meant that obviously that Enzo not only was he playing Wolves and creating and everything and taking shots, was that he got his set pieces back.
Yeah.
But somehow in the last is it 4 or 5 weeks in a row he's blanked?
I don't know how long I've owned him for. Normally a good barometer.
Is it your fault?
I feel like I've gotten away with this one, honestly.
Oh,
not owning him at all.
So did I bring him in game week 6 or bring him in game week 7? I'd like to just double check that. Yeah, I brought him in game week 6 for a 9-pointer. Yeah. And then since then he's gone 2, 3, 2, 0, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad.
It's pretty special, to be honest. It's quite impressive.
The fixtures are still good, but because I think people obviously are going to look at, you have to if you've got him, you have to keep him for Burnley. You have to.
Yeah.
Same for any Chelsea guy.
I think he's easily movable in 13.
But if you're free hitting in 13, you're not going to worry about that either.
No.
But if you're not free hitting and so if you're free hitting in 13, but you have to ask yourself, if he's in pain, and then so they've got Burnley on the Saturday, then they've got Barcelona on the Tuesday.
Cal's just said Enzo to Doku can't wait.
But Barcelona's on the Tuesday.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. That he's definitely
after the Saturday game.
Yeah, they're going to need him
on the Tuesday. But yeah,
I didn't realise.
And
it was
then
that
they
close.
play Arsenal, and then they play Arsenal on the Saturday, and then it's Leeds midweek, and then it's Bournemouth.
Yeah,
and then it's Atalanta midweek, and that's Everton.
The only thing is, I feel like Maresca has been talking about Enzo not training properly for like so long. He just keeps playing. Now, obviously, that could just end up in being a bad injury because he has to keep playing. But sometimes you do get those ones that they just get played through and they can manage it. And obviously, with Palmer, they weren't able to do that, so they've had to leave him out. Like, he has just played another 82 minutes. Although, hang on, when was the last
definitely
international
got
break?
worse.
Was it game week 8, the last
Yeah.
international break?
He
He
didn't play
didn't
that way,
play,
really.
and he came back from that
Came back
dodgy,
early.
wasn't he? Mm.
Came back like 10 days before the international break and still didn't play.
I think you have to go off what Maresca says, and if it's nothing positive, you might have to sell him this week, which will feel horrible.
Because, and this is the bit that's how ridiculous it sounds. My immediate thoughts were, if you're free hitting, you keep him. But I think you've got less chance of him playing game week 14 than any of the rest.
Yeah. And also, by the way, sorry, go on.
He's definitely going to play Barcelona and Arsenal, and then straight into Leeds midweek with Bournemouth away on the weekend.
Yeah, so there's 14 threat, and also there's like report, or at least one report saying that Palmer might get minutes in the Burnley game to then play against Barcelona. So that's your penalties gone as well if he starts to get back. So I think I don't think Enzo's a long-term hold at all. I think it's Burnley. It's either get rid this week or get rid after.
This is in no way me and Andy trying to influence Adam and the rest of the world to sell Enzo, because we've absolutely jammed the shit out of it for the last month.
It can't happen again.
Yeah, but it's
I
reasonable.
think if
no,
Maresca's
reasonable.
positive, you keep him. If he's positive, you keep him. It's still Burnley, right? But yeah, there's got to be some concerns, I think.
Yeah. There's just guys out there, isn't there, where you're like,
Saboslo's right there, you know.
Saboslo is right there. Yeah, if you, well, other than that, João Pedro again. Look, if Enzo potentially misses some more minutes, then I think they still need more playmakers, and therefore I think it's probably good for Pedro potentially. I still don't think it's time to sell João Pedro until you see Palmer back on the pitch and him not doing all the minutes.
And don't buy Reece James.
Don't buy Reece James.
Seems like good advice.
What about Palace? Done Palace?
We haven't done Palace. That's probably because I don't know whether anybody watched the game, really.
Oh, I watched it. It interesting after the end of the game in this one, because it's a total of like 1 XG. I was like, oh, this couldn't have been that eventful. I mean, even with Palace, you look at it and go 0.7 XG, and I'm like, as a Sarr and Mateta owner, it's a bit like what we just said with Enzo. You said how you didn't get 30 points. I'm like, how did the pair of them not get 30 points between them? It feels phenomenal to think that, and then you look at the XG and you're like, well, maybe that might be a slight exaggeration, but it didn't feel like it, because Pino didn't start, which immediately just becomes well, everything's going to go through the free. It's just going to be, if they make anything, it's going to be so hugely monopolised by Munoz, Sarr, Mateta, and that's exactly how it felt in every attack. If you owned all three of them, to only walk away with 11 points off the back of this is absolutely criminal. Mateta also does that thing that, like he always likes to do, which is somehow manage to, although he has a great amount of XG, he manages to minimize his XG because he just tries to blast it as hard as he possibly can really early. So a shot that, he could take into the box and pad his XG, he just goes, nah, I can just bang that top corner from 25 yards. So that never helps. But I still think they're great. I do think they're also playing way too many minutes, and I'm just a bit sleepy.
I think it's really hard, that, because I think most people would agree that it'll catch up to them at some point if it's not already. But it's like, how early do you back that train of thought? Like, you can't really do it before Wolves, and then they got Burnley soon, so you can't really do it before then. So you can't, even if you really think that Palace are struggling right now for fitness because of all the minutes, you can't do anything about it because you just can't take them out. I guess there's maybe a conversation to be had whether you add any more, but it's still Wolves, it's still Burnley. And like, even Man United at home, Palace, I mean, they're probably going, I don't know if they will be favourites, but they won't be far off at home. So, yeah, I think if you've got, it's probably quite an easy hold for most, even though there are away games against Wolves and Burnley, like you just can't. Wolves are so bad.
Yeah. I think if I had Ismaila Sarr, if I didn't have him Ismaila Sarr and I did have Enzo, I think I'd still be tempted to make that move if I had the transfers sent around. If you offered me Wolves, and obviously if you're not free hitting in 13, it makes it even better. But Wolves away and then Burnley away in 14, I'm still back into play both those games. I think yeah. If you've owned Enzo and Sarr through this recent run, you have been incredibly unlucky.
Should have picked Dewsbury.
The defenders.
I think the fact that Cambo, is it Cambo or Cambot? I think the fact that he's come in and like played as well as he did, I think is probably a good thing for Glasner, because it means he probably can afford to, like Gahey misses out, but like they conceded 0.4 XG here. They didn't give up anything at all, by the looks of it. And so if you've got someone like that can just step in, then maybe he can freshen up a little bit in some of the games that he might want to. So maybe we see a Lacroix benching, perhaps. Maybe we see a Richards benching, perhaps. Just to keep them fresh. And maybe that's how he gets around the congestion at the back, at least. I mean, how he's going to deal with Munoz and Mitchell, sprinting up and down, I don't know. But I mean, there's nothing bad from here for me, considering Brighton's attack's been pretty good.
Yeah, I do think Lacroix is the only one that can play the centre back, as it were, of this one. So I think there's a lot been recently about looking at, DEFCON, and Lacroix obviously was like Mr. Prime DEFCON, and then suddenly it's like, oh, he doesn't get the DEFCON. Well, it's definitely a make-up thing. As soon as this game was in it, I was like, well, the outside centre backs will get it, because Palace they don't play a huge amount of like full out and out number 9 play. They play lots of channel play. So guess what? Guess what? The outside centre backs are going to do more work. So therefore they're going to make the intervention before it gets to Lacroix. So that's always going to limit Lacroix. Where you've seen Lacroix hammer it is when it's teams in build-up play. So when it's teams in build-up play, they all fall back on it, and the central centre back's obviously the one that ends up blocking loads of shots and do all those sort of things. So I just think if I was, have you got Lacroix, Andy? I can't remember who you've got. I don't think you panic on it. It's just purely a system type play. I don't know if we look at the next few and work out who are they playing. So Wolves, they're probably more channel-y.
United,
it probably is Lacroix. That's probably a bit more, I think, in that sense. Burnley, you'd just be surprised.
Just take the clean sheet.
Just take the clean sheet is what you're.
He's got to be due a goal as well, Lacroix, surely. Surely the goal is coming. I think there might be some more.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it'll be in
right
Europe,
at the end, wasn't it? Last minute.
Hit the bar against West Ham as well, I think it was. Like he scored in freaking Europe, just like every FPL player does. I quite like Lacroix. I'm not really too worried about it. And I think if there is any rotation, it'd probably just be in Europe. I can't see Lacroix missing minutes in the Premier League.
No, I don't see that
at all. I think if any of them do, I mean, obviously Gay's got an injury now, we'll have to wait and see. But I think Richards is the only one, because he's obviously, I don't know if he's carrying something or they're just always a little bit wary. But Glasner really didn't want him playing during the international break.
Yeah.
So I think he's more like I'm pretty comfortable with Lacroix, I think.
Yeah, that chance right at the end is Lacroix, and that's a 9-point goal.
Yeah,
it's a 9-point goal.
He's actually done all right this season. It's just not quite good enough compared to the rest.
Yeah, if he scores that, gets all 3 bonus, walks away, 9 points better off. Like it's massive. It's just it's huge. But they can't all be Michael King, can they, Adam?
Boom, Michael King. What a man! What a man! I said it last week. I was like I'm trying to paint the Sistine Chapel. I'm just trying to do it without a ladder. And it came good this week. Like, it was obviously, perfect. This is like literally the perfect result. Couldn't believe it. Genuinely couldn't believe it. But Everton again, good at home, like pretty decent at home, and like last 5 weeks, 6 weeks, he's really been like a target for these set pieces. It's crazy, absolutely crazy, how much they are targeting him. And like he was on DEFCON, he like completed it, mate, after 25 minutes. Well, just done.
He's
Considering
I mean, he's
Fulham didn't do anything. Fulham didn't do anything, and he still rocked it up in 25 minutes.
Just a great pick for the price, isn't he? 4.5.
He's a great pick for the price. Yeah, because I still think Tarko is good. Like he was
very unlucky. Yeah, if you had Tarkowski and not King, you were so unlucky to not get a return in this game. Honestly,
so
madness.
Unlucky. But you don't want both, so you get the cheaper one if you have the choice again on this ones. And Keane's there, and he cruises to DEFCON. Like he just throws himself in front of everything. We have talked for many years about when teams play without a striker is fantastic for bonus for everybody else around it. For many, many years at Liverpool, Bobby Firmino, as being the only striker, meant that everybody, all of the defenders and the talismanic attackers are just nailed on for bonus. I'm not comparing Beto or Barry to Bobby Firmino, but they do have that commonality that they're not the most likely goal scorer. It's just in a different way in that they miss everything. That's really helpful, isn't it? Like if you've got strikers that don't score, then you have to get goals from some other places. Makes Dewsbury Hall better, makes Ndiaye better, makes Keane better, makes Tarko better. It's kind of and bizarrely, just a gay.
I don't know if Ndiaye owners will agree that having a striker that doesn't score is good. Because again,
no, to be fair, he's missed so many of their chances.
Yeah, better.
Yeah, it's probably him that doesn't get it as much as the others.
He's probably the worst. Yeah, I think everyone thought, it's better. He's the problem. That's why Ndiaye's not getting assist. And Barry comes in and misses exactly the same.
Cannot
chances.
believe that miss. Yeah,
Ndiaye owners have been a bit unlucky last two, I would say.
It just makes it so good for people involved in the set pieces, though, doesn't it?
And the thing I like about Michael Keane in particular is this isn't like Van der Ven's obviously scored so many goals, like pretty much out of nowhere this year. And so you're not quite sure if it's going to carry on or not. Whereas I think as soon as most of us that have played FPL for a while saw that Branthwaite was injured for 3 months, like Michael Keane, that guy's a goal, he's a goal scorer. So yeah, he's just a good
of him as not a particularly good defender, but
set pieces he's there. Yeah,
but he has been better because he's almost simpler, isn't he? Like he's like he's not trying to do anything flash. He's just like see ball, boot ball.
I saw a few I probably haven't watched Everton enough to kind of say, but I saw a few people discussing that he's been better than Tarkowski, and if it wasn't for I don't know maybe seniority or just how long Tarkowski's been there, that if Moyes was going to drop one on merit, that actually Michael Keane might stay in right now. I don't think that's what would happen. But that's just how well he's been playing.
And they can play 3 at the back. They've done that. It's definitely not out of the equation. They could just drop a striker. What's the point?
I think he, if you've got him, obviously you just hold on to him. I've potentially looking at him for 15. If I've got transfers to burn, he's got Forest at home that week. And then 16 and 17 aren't great, but the fixtures after that are pretty decent for quite a while. And I don't know how much confidence we should have in Branthwaite being back anytime soon.
No. So, and there's no reason to rush it, is there?
No, not really.
Keen season, mate.
Just stay where he is.
Absolutely.
And Dewsbury Hall if you need someone under 5 million.
Yeah.
I do need to get grinders.
What about Ndiaye?
It's weird. I feel like there's a lot of 6 to 7 million midfielders. But I don't know how many of them I love to buy right now. I wouldn't buy Enzo right now. Sabostai's on 4 yellows. Sarr I like. So if you haven't got Sarr, maybe Ndiaye to Sarr. And obviously Wolves is better than playing Man United, but Ndiaye's on penalties as well. So it's like, it's never going to feel like a priority move you have to make.
Nah.
So, and then he's Newcastle at home, a team that have just lost 2 away games to Brentford and West Ham. I feel like Ndiaye's the kind of player you sell if you're just stacked with transfers and you haven't got a clue what you're going to use them on anytime soon. Yeah. And then maybe you just take a punt on someone with better fixtures. If you're sat there with one transfer, I think it's harder to justify moving him on, even to Sarr. I think you just wait it out and see. He has been a bit unlucky recently. He's always got penalties there. And I guess a bit like Saka, he can chip in with DEFCONs every now and then.
let's say you had a couple of transfers and you didn't have a lot, because we are still getting to that point, aren't we? To an extent, is that you've got to use transfers now.
Yeah.
It's going through. If you had, say, let's say you had Undead and Burn, and you had very little money to muck around with stuff, but you had a couple of transfers in the bank. If you said to me, I can go Dewsbury Hall and Van Dijk over Undead and Burn, I probably would. I probably wouldn't mind that. Especially if it meant I was playing a bit more 4-4-2 rather than that. If you offered me in the next 3-4 weeks a Van Dijk over and die, I'd probably still take the Van Dijk option. I don't think you're losing. I don't think you're losing enough going and die to Dewsbury Hall.
If you're moving to a 4-4-2 or 4-3-3, I don't mind. I go back and forth on Dewsbury. I think he's fine for the money, but I also think you probably don't want to play him that often. Like he's perfectly fine for the bench, but he's not someone you probably want in, week out. But I mean, I'm on that structure. I've got Van Dijk, and I'm going to be playing 4 at the back at least this week, 4 at the back in 14 as well, and Dewsbury Hall will be on the bench. So, yeah, I definitely don't mind it. There's every chance Van Dijk can do better than Njai next few weeks, just purely fixtures.
Oh yeah. Actually, you've got to say yes. That's a good idea because you've got it.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. Yeah. I mean, Dewsbury, he's on set pieces. He's playing number 10. He always minutes are really good. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. I just wish the guy would shoot more. He always looks for the pass all the time. And I'm not saying he's always in great shooting positions, but there's just other players, if they got it just in and around the box, they'd have a shot every now and again. He just always looks for the pass. But for less than 5 million.
He did score.
He did score. Yeah, well, that was freaking. When I first saw that, I thought it was very, very harsh. But on replay, I get why they disallowed it. Yeah. I quite like that combination with Van Dijk. I think Van Dijk will do all right, as I said earlier.
I just think there's just not many combinations of other players that you can hang your hat on. I mean, as you said, like Villa's fixtures are improving. There's not really a second Bournemouth guy that we trusted like last year when it was Kluivert at that sort of price. Like Brentford don't really have anyone in midfield you'd really want.
Utara maybe, but then even then you've got
Sharda
maybe.
He's 7 though. He's more. That's why I can't get my head around.
Yeah, that is a bit of a problem. Well, let's do Brentford. Still your boy. Again, though, even that switching around. Like if you had a dead striker and you could switch that dead striker to Thiago and then drop and die down to Dewsbury Hall.
I can't get rid of him. I mean, obviously I can't get rid of him now. I mean, I've got Mateta and everything seems okay with him. I've got Thiago and got Haaland. Like I can't kill this spot now. I was dead set. Like game week 11 bench boost. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of a striker. I was dead set on it, and now I'm like, should I? Because I mean, just keep scoring. I mean, you can't just keep scoring. The fixtures are great. I mean,
can't get rid of him.
Yeah, once he's in, he's in. I think.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll go back to when you said when you asked about Andy about how he felt when the Haaland penalty was missed, and you were like, whatever. I was actually in Aldi doing some shopping when I saw the.
I was commentating to you.
Yeah, you were. You were literally. I had actually already turned it on, and I just stopped in the middle of the shop and just turned it on my phone and just started watching with the headphones in. Gave out a huge fist pump as the ball hit the back of the net. I had to turn the notifications off because I knew Baker would get the goal in front of him like a minute before I could see it. So did everything, just pause notifications, everything. Yeah, buzzing.
He's still relatively low owned as well, isn't he?
Brentford have turned up last few weeks. Like last few weeks, they've been pretty good.
Keith Andrews is doing such a job. It's so impressive. Like I think a lot of people were seriously worried about them start of the season. It just feels like Thomas Frank hasn't left almost to an extent. That's the biggest compliment you can say. And when it comes to I watch I wonder if I've got bad spot in my head around like Brentford strikers in that sense because I didn't own Whistle, I don't think, at all last season. And I feel like similar on this on Thiago. I watch him, I think he's not really that involved very often. I don't really fancy there's going to be much. I feel like every time I watch him, he's going to probably have 3 or 4. If I got him, he'd have 3 or 4 blanks in a row. But I think I felt like that a little bit about Whistle last season, and it didn't happen because ultimately Brentford have always been a team that are really good at fashioning big chances. They've actually always been a team that were relatively good at engineering penalties. And let's be fair, like both of the penalties they tried to get were complete engineer work in terms of Dango is doing whatever he can possibly do to get a penalty. The first one, I think it's right. I think I've got no issue when someone says, "Look, he's tried to dive there, and he has tried to dive there." But I also have no issue. I've certainly no issue with the one given because, like, although obviously does get to the ball, but he's purely saying, "Can I get my foot in front of Dan Burn so he kicks it, and I'll get my penalty?" I've got no issue with that. Have you? Like,
Dan, it's like you were talking
he's
earlier.
played the clumsy man. He's gone, I
Yeah.
can get there quicker than you, and you're going to do something stupid.
Mm.
No problem with that.
It's like you were saying with Robertson earlier, like you were saying about the guilty fit. Like Dan Burn knew straight away.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
as soon as he was sent off, like you can see it when he gets the second booking, he knows.
Yeah,
I
he
love
knew
that
it
he
was
was still
coming.
hanging around. He was still sort of hanging around, like maybe it'll be okay.
Yeah.
It was like having a drink. I'm like, you don't need a drink, mate. You're not running around anymore. You're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a clever team. They always engineered ways to leverage goals, whether it be set pieces, whether it be penalties. They do that. So if you can have the number 9 that's playing all the minutes for it, and he's really cheap, it's just never going to be bad value, is it?
Yeah, I think there was probably just, I mean, it's easy to say now, but there was probably a little bit of an overreaction about how bad Brentford were going to be because, I mean, Thiago was the Tony replacement, and we know how good Brentford are
Yeah.
or have been at Bayern, and they've signed obviously they signed Utara as well, who did well when he played for Bournemouth, which is basically in Burma replacement. So I don't know if we should be maybe should be a little bit surprised about how well, but I don't know about relegation and stuff like that, and it feels like they just carried on. It's a bit like Keith Andrews coming in for Thomas Frank feels a little bit like Slot coming in for Klopp for that first season. It just carried on, didn't
Just
really
carried on.
change a huge amount, and it's just just worked
Yeah.
really, really well.
And Coyote's great, but they've
Oh,
also got
ridiculous.
fullbacks back. So they like last season, you have to remember they had to play with Lewis Potter at left back all season, who we all got a bit excited about because he's a winger that's there. But ultimately, they didn't really want to play a winger at left back like 90 minutes every game. They've got guys back. Collins is a top class ball playing centre back. Um, the fixture run, if you can just, there's a lot of them that are like okay, but they're all good too. There's really only away at Arsenal in 14, but there's loads of guys you can bench him for in 14.
I,
It's not really a big problem.
I think on Thiago, I'm not in a huge panic just yet because I feel like I probably will free hit 13. And
Yeah,
so I can get him for that and I can just skip the 3 away games around it. And like you say, like, I mean, everyone that's got Thiago will definitely play him against Brighton. They'll definitely play him against Spurs. But it also doesn't feel like a huge miss to not have him
yeah.
necessarily. And then the run from 16 is just really nice. So
The
for
run
me, I'm
16 is
kind
great.
of, I'm trying to make myself feel better by saying free hit 13, I can just have him. And then I'll, with the 5, just sell everyone in 16 with the 5 free transfers. But if you want to
Yeah,
pivot back to a 3-4-3 or whatever, that's not a bad week to use 2 moves to shift the funds. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. And I just think with the other attackers, I don't know, Sharda just feels it's a little bit pricey right now, but might come back to him around 16. Because if you've got a pretty well set up team from 16, you're going to be looking at 1 week punts like every
yes.
week. So like getting him in for Leeds at home, then sell him in 17 for Cunha or something. Oh, you'd probably keep him for Wolves. Like, don't get me wrong, but that's the kind of thing. That's when I'd be looking at Shard. I think Utara, if he was absolutely nailed, is good at 6, like comparable to like Minte.
Yeah.
It's just that worry of will at some point would he go back to a back three? But the way they're playing, you can't really see it, right? It's going to stay that back four, 4-3-3.
Go, I think. Go.
We fly through the last 2 games.
Yeah.
Just conscious of time. Big pod.
Big pod.
Forest Leeds.
I just watched the goals, so I can't I can't say very much about this.
I didn't even watch the goals. I forgot to watch this one.
Did anyone see the Gibbs White interview?
Nope.
Is he still talking about how he can breathe again now or something?
No, I didn't. But they asked him about do you have hopes about England? And he said he spoke to Tuchel. I think he said he spoke to Tuchel last week. He spoke to Tuchel last week. Tuchel said, Tuchel made me promise I'd never take a penalty again. That's what he said.
Oh, wow.
Now, he was joking, but he did say that Tuchel said, because he missed the one in Europe, didn't he? So it was after the one that he missed in Europe. He then had the conversation with him. I think he said last Friday, so it'd been like the day after. He said, Tuchel said, never take a penalty again. And I was like, what if Elliot Anderson is just on pens?
I mean, there is a chat. I mean, presumably one of, like, Jesus will play more often than not, no? Surely. But maybe
What?
Anderson is higher up the pecking order. He might be now, yeah?
Is next week a bad fixture for them?
People, teams are gonna kind of want to come for Elliot Anderson. Like they'll know that they know that big money and Forest may have to do some business, but they know it'll have to be big money. You just wonder, don't you? You always wonder with it if Gibbs White and Anderson are the guys that will be strongly looking at that at what they're doing in the summer. It just, yeah. What if he's on him?
This is what I would say. There are 63,000 people buying Caicedo this week. There's only 3,000 buying Anderson. If you're thinking about Caicedo, you should just be buying Anderson instead. He's the same player for less money and potential penalties.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got 5.3 to spend, there's probably no one better than him. 10 is the minimum amount of DEFCONs he's got in a game this season. The minimum is 10. And he's hit it so often.
Is he better than Dewsbury Hall, Andy?
Yes. Yeah. If you've got 5.3 to spend, you buy him, I think, even over Xhaka.
Again, if you're trying to make money on and Dyer to Anderson, again, I don't hate it. I really don't. If it gets you that next step up on certain guys, I can see Adam's furrow brow, which I know what that means. If you don't know what that means, that means Reinders to Anderson is not out of the equation.
Not out of the equation. This is why I speak to you and to more intelligent people than me, so that I get these ideas in my head.
I still think if you can get the money, I'd upgrade Reinders instead of going Anderson. But
I've got 0.4 million, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
0.4 and 3 strikers. Like if I was killing a striker spot.
Well, it's different for you then.
Yeah, so it's like this feels like a sensible move.
It's genuinely.
I mean, I don't need him for this week, right? That's the thing. I don't even.
Nah.
Well,
he ain't going to go up in price anytime soon.
No
one's buying him.
Exactly.
But you're also not free hitting in game week 13, so you get the Brighton at home. Which is.
I do need to think about 13.
Yeah. That's where you need to think about. But he's gives White and Anderson. But yeah, we can give that some time. But if people haven't watched it, go find the interview with Gibbs White and try and work out how serious was he about that and how much is he listening to Tuchel. Other than that,
West Ham Burnley
3 extra. I didn't realise it was that high. Burnley are just bad, aren't they?
I mean, I don't want to call this a paddling because Wilson was basically standing on the goal line. Souček was basically standing on the goal line, and Walker Peters was literally standing on the goal line when he put it in. So,
good point. Bowen owners as well must be raging.
Fuming. I watched that go in live, and I was.
You said to me about that happening, didn't you? And
immediately.
I was like, oh, so did Bowen get the assist? And then I was like, how did he not get the assist then, and so forth? And it's
It's because Walker Peters was 3 inches in front of him and just nicked it off his toe. Yeah. I mean,
I've been trying to work. I was thinking about this the other day about the fact of this is the season of DEFCON. This is the season of set pieces. That I was trying to work out if Souček. Not only is Souček should he be a pick, but if I was any other like big team in the Premier League, wouldn't you go and buy Souček in January? Like, shouldn't people like Arsenal or someone just go and buy Souček? You know what I mean? There's loads of teams which are just all about set pieces. Surprised he's not the most in-demand midfielder in the world.
He's not even playing, is he? He's not starting. He's just coming off the bench and getting goals from him. He's almost like
That's
a
what I'm
super
saying.
sub from now.
It's like a special teams NFL guy. Honestly, teams to January, just someone going like big team. It wouldn't surprise me if someone else want to go buy Souček. Just add it to if they were better at them.
I mean, why we're talking about Anderson, Dewsbury Hill cheap? You got Potts now 4.4. Started the last two, smashed DEFCONs.
he did
taking corners.
He did tweak his hammy though, didn't he?
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I don't know whether he came off, but he definitely had a bit of discomfort there. Maybe it was just because of the fact he's only played a couple of games at this level.
Cramp or something.
That's
my only worry with him as a pick is when you get guys like that are just new in the team, you're never quite 100% sure if they'll stay there forever. And maybe they don't need to at 4.4. It's not the end of the world if it's just a dead spot, but you know what I mean?
He was subbed off for Souček.
They have been better since Potts has been playing with Fernandez, though.
And didn't he smash DEFCON though? Didn't he get
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
way out there? Yeah, he got all the way out
I
there.
think he had 12 just after half time.
Mad, yeah.
Really good. And like I say, he's taking set pieces. Like if you're going to dead spot a midfielder, like you up front, it's Potts right now, 4.4.
Yeah, maybe that is the way if I'm going 3, and then I can figure out what I want to do in 16 if I want to move back. Because it's only 2 transfers to do that, right?
Yeah, I like the way they've been playing and the way he's played. Like he's come in, you feel like he's not going to come out, but I guess he's young and can never be 100%. But for 4.4, what are you really risking?
Again, he's just going to sit third on my bench, isn't he? So it's not doesn't really matter, and I can kill a spot. That might be if I can find a way to utilize the money. So he's 4.4, 5. Oh no, I've only got 5.5. Ridiculous. Reinders 5.5 went all the way up to 5.7. I bought him at 5.7 and he came all the way back down to 5.5. So that was useful.
It's been a roller coaster guy. That guy.
Yeah, I literally got on at the peak. So I will only get 1.1 million. So I'll have 1.5 million to spend elsewhere, and then that leaves me Enzo to can't get up to Bumo from Enzo.
There's your Gakpo money.
It's Gakpo. Gakpo.
So
don't do that.
So far this season, Gakpo's got 46 points. Sar's got 46 points. Enzo's got 48 points. Bruno Fernandes has got 50 points. And Josh Cullen's got 53.
We're not doing this again. We're not going
Josh
back
Cullen
into...
is 1 point behind Mo Salah
we're not-
after 11 game weeks of the season.
We're not going back to Burnley. Mate, we spent literally 10 minutes talking about Jadon Anthony about 5 weeks ago.
He's still on 49, but he's still...
we haven't seen him
still
since.
on more points than Enzo and Sar.
We haven't seen him since. Man doesn't exist anymore.
Josh Cullen, 7th highest scorer in midfielders this season.
This ain't gonna
53
last.
points.
I don't care. DEFCONs or not, this ain't lasting. These players will be wiped off the leaderboard soon. I swear.
Josh Cullen. Who's got him? Like nobody in the world. 2.3% of the entire game owned Josh Cullen.
It's a money thing, isn't it? Has he gone down in price as well? He probably has.
João Polina's got more points than Bruno Fernandes this season.
Yeah.
Yes, I may have heard you mention that before. That's only because he missed 2 penalties. If he scored them, what would he be on?
Lots.
If he slight few inches to the left and down on those woodwork hits, it's another 3 goals there.
I want my points back.
I really want him back.
on that note, we're done, boys.
We're done. Andy, thank you very much for joining us, man. Really appreciate it. That was good fun.
Thanks for having me.
That was good fun.
Pleasure.
Good stuff. We've got another process coming up this week, have we?
Why has Andy suddenly got so much taller than us?
He's always been taller than us.
So tall.
I can't actually I can't actually go any I can't actually bring him down any further because that is literally it.
Oh, that's right. There's only a wall above the green screen anyway. I don't know what you can see actually.
You can't see anything. It's all good. It's all good. What was I saying? Yeah, we've got another process coming up this week at some point.
Yes.
We don't know when it is because Ivan's been asking us when we're going to record. We haven't given him an answer yet.
We need
to figure that out. Alex, if you're listening, we need a thumbnail, please. Yeah. What are you up to over the next couple of weeks, Andy? You got a week? I guess a week off.
Yeah. Next few days I'll do some stuff, and then a weekend off for sure. 'Cause it's going to be the last one for a while now. I'm looking forward to the I love post-November FPL. I think it's the best time over Christmas. You get the first midweek deadline, then you got Christmas. Like double game weeks and stuff are great, but I like Christmas period because there's just so many deadlines. There's just no rest.
13, 14, 15.
Yeah,
bang,
it's going to be nice.
Bang.
Because and if you're doing badly, you get to fix it quicker. Well, you might not fix it, but you get to make a change to hope it'll fix it quicker. So yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
We got a Monday game and then a Tuesday deadline. I love that when it's like that. The game ends the next day. I mean, it's not good for us trying to do the bloody content.
Oh,
and
no.
Trying to do reviews.
Not for us part-timers.
No.
I say,
not for us.
Yeah, but you say deadline streams galore. That is
yeah.
Pretty much.
How honestly, how you run those is just insane. Still boggles my mind.
Why?
Just because it's question after question after question after question, just for like 2 hours. Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
Bang.
Oh yeah, I don't think I could do it much longer than that. It's one of those things you say like it's difficult, and everyone's like, "What do you mean it's difficult? You're getting paid to talk about," and I get it, right? Like it's not. There's lots of jobs that are way more difficult, but it's like you're having to be switched on for so long. Just I don't think I could do it much longer than 2 hours. I don't know how people stream games for like 8 hours a day. I just do not know how they do it. It's draining.
Generally not as interactive with the chat though. I mean, you're so interactive with the chat that
probably helps, to be honest. It just flies those 2 hours.
Yeah.
No. Before anyone gives it, no complaints whatsoever. I absolutely love it. I hope it doesn't stop anytime soon.
I'm sure you do.
Hold on,
someone said the Fark has just been sacked. What?
Surely not.
That's come out of nowhere.
That's what happens when you lose to Fark. No, I don't think that's true. Oh, hang on.
I mean, it might be.
Nah, I don't see it anywhere. Nah, don't see it anywhere.
No news. Talking Leeds podcast, no news. Okay, whatever.
Okay.
FPL hippie throwing it.
That'd be kind of mad, wouldn't it?
FPL hippie. Tries to get us. Right.
Right.
See you later, boys.
We'll catch you later. Cheers, guys.